Hello and welcome to the OpsBase weekly webinar. My name is Mark and I head up product and client services here at OpsBase. Today our topic is the advanced op builder features, and these are features that are going to be released in July 2020. So let's show you what these are going to look like. When you go to edit one of your ops, you will see two new toolbars. The first toolbar has 4 buttons on it, and the second toolbar has 3 buttons on it, and I'll take you through those now. So the new features are the ability to copy a question, which is the squares icon that are duplicated, the ability to paste that copied question into your op, which is the paste clipboard button. Next, we have an undo your last action button, which is the backwards arrow. And we also have a redo last action button, which is the forwards arrow. The buttons on the side are the drag and drop. You'll have seen this before, but now it's possible to do hierarchical drag and drop, and I'll show you exactly what that means shortly. The ability to add a question below the question that you're currently selecting, and then obviously the ability to delete the question that is currently selected too. One of the big things that we've done is made huge improvements in the performance. We know that sometimes if you had a very long or complex op, then the browser would slow down a little bit and your typing would lag slightly. And we listen to our customer feedback and we do our very best to always address these concerns that are raised to us. And we're pleased to say that this new browser is lightning quick. I'm going to go into a live demo. I've never done this before on a webinar, but we will put ourselves in the hands of the live demo gods and keep our fingers crossed. If you have any questions about what you see, then please type those into the chat and I'll do my very best to answer them. Likewise, if you have questions about something that we're not talking about today on the webinar, feel free to ask those too, and I'll do my best at the end to answer those as well. What I've done now is I've logged into the OpsBase web app as an admin. I've gone to my list of operations and I've opened one of those operations. The first thing I want to just quickly mention to you, in case you've not seen it before, is the ability to expand and collapse a live preview of how the op would look on a mobile device. And it is mostly interactive, so you can click to enter text. This is just a preview to give you a sense of what the end user would see as they go through completing the op. What you'll have also perhaps noticed is that when I clicked on a particular question, it highlighted the question in the list here. So as I go down, the screen will move to show you the right section that you move on to. So as well as being able to expand and collapse the preview, you can also expand and collapse the details on the right-hand side. And this is useful if you have a lower screen resolution. It gives you more space to work with the actual op itself. As I showed you earlier, we've got this new toolbar at the top with the 4 buttons. And as you select your questions, you've got these 3 buttons on the right-hand side too. So let's start at the beginning. If I select a question and I hit the copy button, you'll now see that these buttons are green, okay? And the question has also gone green. If I want to add this question lower down my op, all I have to do is select the place where I want it to appear below. So if I select reference, when I paste now, it will paste this question below the currently selected one. So hit paste. We can see that that has now been duplicated, as well as all of the settings on the right-hand side. So that's the copy button and the paste action. What if we didn't want to do that? Well, what we can do then is we can click the undo button and it's gone. What's interesting to note is that the undo button will record a series of steps. So for example, if we were to change the name of this question or the title, and then we were to add a new question underneath it, and just click away from it so that happens. If I click the undo button now, the first thing it will do is take away the last action, which was to add a new question. If I click the undo button again, we'll see that it removes the naming. What if I didn't mean to do that? Well, this is where the redo button comes in, and I can click the redo button to add the name back in, and I can click the redo button to put the question back in. So you can undo and redo multiple steps, which I'm sure you'll agree is incredibly useful. Just to come on to some of the tools that we saw on the side there, then I'm going to firstly start with the delete question button. And now I want to talk a little bit about hierarchy. So here we have a repeating question set. And within this repeating question set, we have another repeating question set. And within there, we have a question with some logic on it. What this basically says is, which control measure is it? If somebody selects other, we've got the form logic that says type in what measure you're choosing, because it's obviously not one that we've provided in the previous list of options. So this is what we call a hierarchy. At the top, there's the hazard register. Then we've got a bunch of questions within that. And then within this last question, we've got more questions that are nested. If we click the add button next to a question that's within a hierarchy, it adds the question at the same level. And you can see that there. Okay, so that those two are part of this next section. If you click the plus button at a different level in the hierarchy, it will add the question there. And likewise, if you add a question at the top level of the hierarchy, it will add the question there. So the plus button will always add the question at the right level that you want. Now, let's say, for example, that you accidentally added a question here, and that then you decided, actually, this new question that I've got should not be within the hierarchy. Actually, I need it to move to the top level. Well, now when you drag and drop, you will see that it moves within the hierarchy. So I can add it. I've taken it out from below measure and I've taken it up a level, but if that's wrong, I can continue to move it, take it up another level. It's moving slightly to the left now. And if that's wrong, I can keep moving it all the way up to the top. And now it's a top level question as well. And likewise, I can reverse that process. I can bring it all the way down the hierarchy, back down to below measure. These things are now incredibly useful. It used to be the case that you had to try and recreate questions if you hadn't put them at the right level. Well, now you can just move them around as much as you want. And I hope that what you also saw, even though this isn't an overly long or complex op, is that actually the performance of it is lightning quick. This set of features is going to be coming live at the beginning of July. Obviously, we'll send out an email to let you know when they are live, but we think that this will massively improve your op building and op editing experience. If you have any questions about what I've just shown you, please add those to the chat and I will do my very best to answer them. Well, I'm not seeing any questions, so fingers crossed we have been able to explain everything and it all makes perfect sense. If you later find that you've got some questions that come to you about this or anything else, please contact us, support@opsbase.com. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you online soon.